Welcome to Ioannina, or Yannina as it's sometimes pronounced. Is the largest city in the region of Epirus in northwestern Greece. The city has a central population of approximately 65,000 people and a metropolitan population of approximately 123,000 people. The city is known for its cuisine of dishes like baklava, the region is also famous for its production of feta cheese, and for the water coming from the Zagori Mountains, which is distributed throughout Greece. The area was first settled during the Hellenistic period, but Ioannina really became a city under Byzantine rule. The Ioannina fortress was built by the Byzantines in the 10th century, or at least that's when it was first built, when the city, the entirety of it, was within the walls of the fortress. During the 12th century, for a period of about 20 years, the city fell to the Serbian ruler, Stefan Dusan, and Ioannina was now part of the Serbian Empire. But the Byzantines quickly regained control of the city, and the city flourished under the Byzantine Empire, especially in the later periods, so between the 13th and 15th century. One of the reasons Ioannina was flourishing was because when Constantinople had been invaded by the Ottomans, many of the wealthy families moved to Ioannina to start a new life. But in 1430, the Turkish forces successfully captured the city. And the Ottoman Empire continued to control the city for a period of about 500 years. This was a Byzantine defense tower for the fortress. This was a library that was built during the Ottoman era. And here we have a mosque, evidently built also in the Ottoman era, when Muslims first started to live in the city. And here's an old Turkish bathhouse. In 1611, there was a revolt in the city, which led to people enacting indiscriminate violence against each other. And then the result of that was that all the Christians were forced outside of the walls of the city, which meant that now only the Muslims and the small Jewish community of Ioannina were allowed to live within the walls of the city. Another result of this was that the Ottoman ruler of the area at the time, Ali Pasha, destroyed the Christian monastery which was once right here, and in its place built the Ali Pasha Mosque in 1618, which is now the city's ethnographic museum. But despite the repression of Christianity and the conversions to Islam, the majority of the population remained Christian, and the language that most people spoke was Greek, even though the official language of the city was technically Turkish. Under Ottoman rule, the city continued to prosper economically, but maybe even more so culturally, as during this period, especially the 18th century, many schools were opened, as well as libraries. And during this time, the majority of Greek authors would have studied here in Ioannina. In 1789, Ioannina became the center of the territory that was now ruled by Ali Pasha, of whom you may have heard of in one of my previous videos. He was a local Ottoman ruler who had a lot of power and sway in the area. Ali Pasha had diplomatic relations with important European leaders But unfortunately, he wasn't the kindest man and committed several atrocities to the people living in the city of Ioannina and across Greece in general. But there are two sides to every coin. During his rule in the city of Ioannina, the city was more prosperous economically and culturally than it had ever been. But Ali Pasha was never satisfied. He kept wanting to increase his territory and distance himself from the authority of the Ottoman Empire. He even had his eyes on Constantinople, which was the biggest and most important city that the Ottoman Empire controlled in Europe. But when they found out about this, they declared him guilty of treason to the Ottoman Empire and declared that he must be killed. When Ali Pasha caught wind of this, he decided to seek refuge in one of the monasteries situated on the island, which is in Pamvotida Lake. Which is located right next to Ioannina. And he would wait there thinking that this would blow over and that he would be pardoned. But one of Ali Pasha's wives, who was of Greek origin, of whom he basically kidnapped at a young age, informed the Ottoman authorities of where Ali Pasha was hiding on the island. She had probably done this because she may have had friends or family who had already been killed at the hand of Ali Pasha, or at his command. And he was planning more of these atrocities as well. So the Ottoman authorities went to the island, beheaded Ali Pasha, and brought his head to Constantinople to prove that he was no longer a threat. But it is here in Ioannina that sits his grave. In 1913, following the Balkan Wars, Ioannina officially became part of Greece. And then during the Second World War, the Italian forces were intent on capturing the city. But the Greek defense forces managed to push back the Italian army in Kalpaki. But later, during the negotiations between the Greek military and the Nazi regime, during the negotiations to hand over the territory, the city was bombed by the Axis forces. And then in 1944, during the month of April, the majority of the Jewish community in Ioannina was rounded up and sent to concentration camps, the majority of which ended up perishing in those concentration camps. My apologies for ending the video on a dire note, but that is the chronology of the important events here in Ioannina, and I felt it was important to demonstrate the reach of the Nazi army at the time of the Second World War. But the good news is, if you enjoyed this video, I have some other videos you would probably enjoy on this channel. One being the city tour and history of Thessaloniki, which is Greece's second largest city, as well as a longer video called Journey Through Western Greece, where I bicycled through this part of the country, where you can learn more about Greece, its people, its culture, its food, etc. And then after that, I will be continuing my journey bicycling through Greece, and there will be more videos of the northeastern part of the country. I was in Greece as part of a longer journey, bicycling through Central and Eastern Europe. Before that, I bicycled from Cape Town, South Africa to Nairobi, Kenya, so like half of Africa. And before that, I bicycled from Canada, where I'm from, all the way down to southern Patagonia in Chile and Argentina. And all those videos from those adventures are available on this same YouTube channel, Hum of the Earth. And if you'd like to see an interactive map of everywhere that I went and everything that I got to see and do, that is available over on my website, followthehumoftheearth.com. Where you can click on the different locations and see the various blog posts and videos that I've made of these places. And if you'd like to follow my continuing adventures, once again bicycling through Central and Eastern Europe, you can do so by clicking on the red subscribe button below the video and clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Alright, so I think that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.